Hey, welcome into A Cup of Hoops, episode 31. We are live, Boozer.
31. Goodness.
31. Yeah, things to look forward to. Let's hop in. Okay, hold on. I want to say we are sponsored by Synergy. Synergy has been a great help. It's been helping us prepare to watch guys all across the great state. So, high school coaches, hop on board if you haven't yet. A couple other house cleaning things. The GassoCast Live is going to be after this. We're going to be doing a TABC recap. We are going to be talking TABC here as well, but we have a lot of fun categories, and we'll be adding Linden to that. The GassoFast break, you got a bonus. GassoFast break for a TABC primer last week, also the Alliston Round Rock recap. And then this week, we are putting out tons of content about the TABC. I don't know about you, but I did a lot. I did different players for every single thing. So, like, what I'm talking about in A Cup of Hoops will be different from what I'm talking about on the GassoCast, will be different from what I'm talking about on the newsletter. So that's really fun when we got to see that kind of basketball. My Recruiting Simplified newsletter dropped this morning, so that's free. If you like recruiting news, if you want a 2-minute article every single week, dropped Wednesday, hop on board over there. You can find everything in my link in bio. And I didn't say it. That's Gasso Blue, or I guess that way. That's Gasso Blue. I'm Gasso Mass. Let's talk recruiting first, okay? Unless you were blind, there were college coaches everywhere at the TABC.
And there are all courts. I walked through the courts. They were everywhere.
Yeah, and you went to all the site. It was crazy. And kind of we had this buildup of talking about, like, okay, reach out to college coaches, get them to come see your games, sell. And now the TABC just happened. Now what? What do we do for recruiting? And I'm going to kind of tip this one off, and then Blue's going to kind of come behind me. But there's two pools of players right now. You either gained momentum and got contact or what you were looking for, or you didn't, okay? Neither one of those are necessarily where it's all going to end and be said and done. Okay, 2025s, you are just entering this realm right now. 2026, 2027s, if you were offered, got traction with college coaches, that's unbelievable at this point. But let's say you gain momentum. I would say ride the wave. Remind these coaches why they followed you. When you put together your highlight tape after this event, send them a reminder, hey, coach, here was the recap from the TABCs. Thanks for following me on Twitter. I look forward to building a relationship with you. So ride that momentum or ride that wave into the next open periods coming up. If you didn't gain traction, gear up for the next event you play in. We always talk about on here, Division 2s, Division 3s, NAIs, JUCOs, they can go to a lot of events outside of a live period. Okay, there is still ground to be taken in the next events that you play in, and then you got open period after that. So do the same things that we were saying pre-TABC. Keep reaching out, keep trying to gain traction, keep fighting for responses, and when you get that opportunity to play in front of the coaches, execute. Blue, what do you have to add?
This right here is where, like you said, you might have to create your own momentum. Yep. Create that own that talking point, because these coaches, maybe they might not be contacting you at this moment, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to go see you here in the upcoming weeks once we get to open period the week of July 11th.
Good point.
And so what happens is that there could be just a little bit of an asterisk by your name, a little note to come back and check. I'm talking to a lot of college coaches, and last week I touched on this, and this is what really happened is that I'm sitting next to college coaches, and what they're doing is like, hey, this guy's not good enough for me, but they might be good enough for college C and D that are to the left of me. And so now this is where the conversations start happening because of the relationships that the college coaches have with each other, the amount of games that they're still going to go watch coming in July. And remember, this kind of tips off a lot. The TABC really tips off the Texas recruiting for the year, for the next few months. And then we get into the August visit, September's, October, and so forth, and then signing in November. So there's still a lot of time. There's obviously still a lot of basketball to be played. And so don't get one, don't be relaxed with what you have, and secondly, if you don't have anything, it's just the beginning, because there's plenty of notes out there. There's plenty of highlights. There's a lot of things that happen. There was nearly 500 teams, so let's just go multiple of 5. There's 5,000 players out there.
Yeah,
That's all.
no, good word, Blue. Good word, Blue. Well, we are going to do the majority of kind of hitting on our players on the Gasso cast, but you and I always like to chop it up and kind of do our own little thing with a cup of hoops. So the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to players here is who's a duo that caught your eye, because there was a lot of them out there and a lot of them that we're both very excited about for next year.
Well, Colleen Ellison, Sean Parks, and JoJo MacGyver. I mean, JoJo obviously was really the main point for recruiters this weekend, and there was plenty of from high all the way down to low watching him. He really got a crowd. But also, what happened? People started asking about Sean Parks. And I think that's why I like this duo, because one can play on the ball, they can play off. They're just they're in sync with Alberto Jones, who's the head coach of this Colleen Ellison team. They've both been JoJo has been to 2 state semis and 1 final. And then you look at Sean Parks. I'm not sure if Sean was on varsity his freshman year or not, but anyway, he's experienced that. He's had the opportunity to be on that big stage. And so coming into this past weekend, I think they both continue to turn heads, and they're just a duo that's going to be really hard to guard. They're going to be able to both get paint touches, distribute, kick out to their shooters, defend. They're both really good defenders. Like, that is a big recipe. And I think, they went 1-2, but that you don't win anything in June. And so what it just gives a lot of perspective on what these two are going to be able to do for their team. And then moving forward, how good they're going to be as a team, and, starting in August to work on any flaws. And so I really like this duo of Parks and MacGyver.
Yeah, I'll hop in here with the Katie Jordan guards, Jaden Holt and Elijah Black. They just play so well off each other. They're both fast. They both can go get to the paint whenever they feel like it. Jaden had a game where I think he was 13 of 19 with 31 points, and then Elijah has a game where he has like 25 and 6, and they're just they control the whole game. And we have 2 guys that can really handle the ball, handle pressure, make plays for others. It's really fun to watch, and it's just a duo that just can get going in a hurry, can play off of each other, and get things done. Now moving into some 25s, we're going to say names. We're going to give a little brief talking about here, though. But who are some of your guys who played really well, Blue?
On the 25s, and this one person that I had not seen was Johan Gutierrez from Houston Legacy Sports. I mean, you're talking about a guy with 6'6", 6'7" length, step out and shoot it. There was a lot of college coaches circling his name and really asking questions. And I think that's, you always talk about shooting. You always talk about that's a key to your evaluation. And it just really, when we have our discussion tomorrow on our scouting service, that's going to be a big focal point, because a lot of guys we're doing a great job of putting the ball in the hole. And Johan was, like I said, the length, the size, the ability to get open, catch and shoot, go a little bit off the dribble and create some separation. He did a really nice job of just standing out.
Yep. I'll hop in here with Jack Siders, Austin Westlake. Man, this kid has just continued to get better and better and better. And those Westlake bigs, they just know how to play. He can stretch the floor. He knows what to do in a pick and roll situation. He knows how to short roll and pass out of it. He's just a very dynamic big who's come a long way, turned a lot of heads this weekend. Very excited for him, because I think he will continue to garner recruitment just from what he's been able to do on the stage. And then Westlake pedigree of bigs, they just know how to coach them, and they always seem to get better. So Jack Siders, Austin Westlake. Who's another guy, Blue?
Oh, Jaden Leverett, low-hanging fruit, but there was a lot of college coaches ready to see him, and it just gives you a different, I'm using the word perspective here a lot, because it just does. I mean, you're sitting here with your teammates, the guys that you have been playing with for the past 3 or 4 years. They know you know them when you're on the basketball court, and it's just to see Jaden Leverett in the setting of being comfortable, of being the consistency of who his guards are, who his teammates are alongside of him on the court. Man, the utilization of this guy is such at a high level, and defensively, how quickly he can get off the floor to block a shot, to rebound. I said this back in November 2023 after I saw him down at the Alamo City Classic. I don't know if there's another big man that understands pace and understands, hey, I got to be the first one down the floor with my being a big target to either catch the ball in transition and finish, to set up and post up, get the ball, to be an inside out guy as far as the offense coming through him and then either scoring or passing it out. Like, there's so many little things that he does that is just translatable, and it might not translate real quickly into a 30 minute a game as a freshman, but the future thinking of how good this kid's going to be. I'm always just love watching him out there on the court, and the college coaches did too.
When Blue speaks about big men, he's probably going to be right. Just for y'all to know now, there's a running joke in the office. Blue always hits on him. So I'm going to go with Bryce Jackson, Alvin Shadow Creek. Man, oh man, I got to watch him. He's been injured a while. I got to watch him on Synergy. He looked really good with the hoops. Very, very encouraged. And then I go see him live, and this dude is just it's everything and more. He does dirty work. He can score. He gets off the floor. He defends. He rebounds. He does so much stuff. And he was a name that was hot. The college coaches just kept asking me, that's Bryce Jackson, right? Like, Bryce Jackson, we haven't seen him in a minute. I was like, that's him. He's killing it. Really exciting to see him back in action and to kind of, when you take a break from basketball that long and to come back and to continue to do the things that everybody said you did, when you were a young kid, and he's touted as the guy, and he's coming back and fighting through it. Just very impressive to see Bryce get done what he got done this weekend, and he caught a ton of attention, and deservedly so. Let's talk underclassmen, Blue. Who's one for you?
I don't know which one I want to start with. I just go in order, I guess. Austin Brown, Lufkin. He is starting to settle into who he is. Yeah. And I think maybe a year ago, or sometime for me at least, what was going to be his true identity. And, JT McManus, this is what this is built for too, is like JT McManus, the head coach of Lufkin. He's going to put Austin Brown and his high school team in situations to perform well and try to compete and win games. And you just notice right away, Austin Brown, you have to go through Austin. And when Austin is there, can play the pick and pop role, he's able to get down and get going toward the basket. The guy is just really becoming more than just a hot name, but just what he can do on the court is so basic, but at the same time, just noteworthy. He's going to knock down the shots. He'll play the little mid-range game. He'll face up. He's going to knock down shots, and then he can run the floor. And I think that a lot of college coaches noticed that, there's always a spot for him, for a kid like Austin Brown at being 6'7", 6'8", the long, lanky kid that can get out there and run the floor and shoot, make shots and defend and go rebound and just work hard.
Yeah. Simply put, if you're that size, you can knock down shots and you rebound, like, it's really hard not to like you, and Austin has been really, really good. He's been on a tear. I'm going to go with Sawyer Dotson, another guy with kind of some of those, those attributes. Sawyer shot the three at 75% this weekend, and I would say he made 10 plus. So like it wasn't like he was he was 3 or 4. It was a whole lot more than that. And with Sawyer's size and his ability to go rebound and just what he did and how much better he's continued to get, I love his aggression. That Birdville team's really fun. They shoot the 3 ball, and Sawyer's going to be a big focal point of that offense. But it was just fun to see a guy be put in a situation to thrive, and another name that was catching a lot of attention in that I just heard the name of. Hey, did you see what Sawyer Dotson did earlier? I heard a lot of that. And I was, yeah, Absolutely, and that's what we expect from him. He's a really good player. He's pretty well ranked right now in the 26, but I'm not sure it's high enough. Funny enough.
Amari Getta, like he continues to amaze me. I mean, let's forget about what he's listed on paper,
Yeah,
because when you stand next to him and you see him, he's a smaller guard, but my goodness, I mean, he's hitting three pointer after three pointer with 6'1", 6'2" guys running at him. Like this guy has absolutely no fear when it comes to letting the ball fly out of his hands, and he's so quick and dynamic with the ball that where you just don't really expect everything that you see from him. You're not really expecting it, especially those that have never played against him. So when you're driving, he's with San Antonio and he's driving up 35 north. And if you're not prepared and you don't know who this kid is, that he becomes your opponent,
good
he's
luck.
going to eat you up. And he does so much stuff, even off the dribble. I mean, we can even throw Jamil Garland in this situation too. And those guys are also going to be part of my dynamic duo of backcourt guys. But man, you just look at the body of work over the past 6 months. Well, really since the season, almost the 10 months. I mean, he's pretty. He's kind of special for his size and ability to shoot the ball and handle it and get the ball up court and just kind of make some people better. He actually creates, because once you find out I got to stop him as a defender, all of a sudden it opens up things for his teammates.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nehemiah Lawrence, Allen. Allen was extremely impressive this weekend, and I could have used Trent Payne and Neo Lawrence as my dynamic duo as well. But I loved what Neo does for them. He sets the table. He can get in there and score. He can knock down a shot. And the Allen group just in general is so deep, and they were 2 points away from perfect. And against Duncanville in the game that could have gone either way, Neo does so much for that group. And quite frankly, like I said earlier, you can talk about every one of these Allen kids making an impact. And a lot of what Neo does just translates to winning. And he needs a shout out because he's a really, really talented player. And he's a big reason for Allen's success. So, hey, that's going to wrap up a cup of hoops. I know it was a quick one, but we're coming right back at you in about 5-10 minutes. Adding Lindo, the guru, we're going to get a ton of, I think we're talking about 25, 30 players. So it's going to be a lot of fun when we hop on the GassoCast. So come join us over there. Thanks for joining me in Blue in a cup of hoops, and we'll see you next time.